Hello, and welcome to Anime Audio Commentary. Today I'll be commenting on Episode 8 of The Great Jahy Will Not Be Defeated. If you'd like to watch along, then start watching now. So last we left off, Jahy ended up making friends with some of the local kids who sort of mistook her for one of their own, and, she didn't make any great strides in finding any mana crystals, but, things are looking up a little bit. Although it seems like they're looking right down again. It's one thing to take a nice relaxing bath, but it's quite another when, all you have is a little wash tub. So I guess judging by the title, Jahy's gonna go to a public bath or something, and I can only imagine hijinks will occur. Although seeing as how, a chauffeur has stopped in front of Jahy, I figured this would be Druzh's subordinate, but, oh, she's the president. Druzh is. Wow, that's something. She's really climbed the corporate ladder to an insane degree if she's the president of a company now. I mean, it would be one thing to just, send her own private car to pick up Jahy, but, I feel like Druzh would be in the car, too, Man, how absolutely typical of Jahy to just take advantage of the free food and all that. Something tells me she's gonna cause, horrible damage to the upholstery of the car. And it's gonna be something she's not gonna be able to pay off or clean. Although now that I think about it, she's just kind of lounging and not wearing a seatbelt. It would be a little funny if they got into, a fender bender and she got, hurled from the seat. She would deserve it, but, Man, she's more disappointed about the ride being over. It's no, I want to stay in the nice limo, but, man. I guess it's just time to suffer, So I guess Druzh is in fact the president, and so she's in charge now. That's remarkable. So did she start this from scratch or what? What would such a company do, Okay, I guess this was signposted. Druzh is hey, visit me at my company. Huh. So I guess the real question is Jahy just gonna continue lying and pretending she's far more well off than she is? Because at the rate things are going, I feel like she's gonna be discovered. If you have a company that you run, and you've got this big giant building, you have to be doing something correctly. Now, it probably isn't a good thing that Jahy's getting such a big head about this whole thing. Because, any problem Druj would have as the president of a company, I feel like there's no way at all that Jahy could possibly help in any capacity. Alright, Jahy's finally asking the salient question. Oh. Okay, so Druj is admitting we're just management consultants, which is essentially scam artists, They give advice on management, and it's like, come on. In some way they have to be successful to have gotten this far, but, oh yeah, Druj is right. Like, this is child's play for a demon, Man, that's kind of true, although I figured she would be a lawyer. Wow. This really does reflect poorly on Jahy, that Druj, her sort of erstwhile lackey, was able to flourish, and Jahy's just been suffering this entire time when, given that she's also a demon, she should be able to sort of, get up to skullduggery and things like that. Ooh. So Jahy's being brought in as sort of like a training consultant. Jahy's gonna be essentially there to like whip the newcomers into shape. Which, as someone with no corporate experience, I feel like this isn't gonna go well, because they expect her to, like, actually impart wisdom rather than be fawned over. So, maybe this isn't so bad for Jahy. She's getting a change of clothes, and, she can probably just BS her way through a presentation. I guess the only question is, oh boy. Okay, so it's like a stage with a screen and a microphone and, like, a conference room. So, oh man, it's not good when Druj introduces you by a false title. So, yeah, maybe she is in trouble, because I feel like, this is something where you should definitely have some degree of preparation. A speech or a presentation. Aw, man. So Druj is just going in and editorializing everything Jahy says in a much more eloquent way. Like, everyone's applauding her, that's nice, I guess, but I hope Jahy feels horrible about this. Although, thinking about it from the perspective of the newcomers, there has to be something here that the president is fawning over this guest speaker. If nothing else, that's got to give Jahy some level of credence. Man, why did Druj even bother if she's just giving the whole speech herself? And, editorializing fairly heavily, sort of idealizing what the past was like. Man, that's just a great screenshot right there with Jahy's dumbfounded expression plastered over the screen. I mean, that really just encapsulates the whole thing. And I guess from her perspective, it's kind of hard not to be a little thrown for a loop by everything, especially considering she was brought in to help and she didn't do anything. And not for lack of trying. Alright, so Jahy, she's clearly not feeling up for anything. But the question is, why is she stopping? They're just pulling out, on the side of the road and she's gonna go, wander in the woods and sulk? Or is it just embarrassment over her living in a dump? Probably the latter, I'd imagine. I do think it's very telling that the thing Jahy is most upset about was having her limelight stolen. And maybe she should consider being a little bit more quiet and not shouting out loud. Oh, okay. I thought Drish was going to, apologize and everything, but no, it seems like everything is coming up entirely beneficial for Jahy. There's going to be a party next weekend, which, no doubt she is wholly unprepared for. That would be kind of funny if she had to try and get time off for the party. So I guess, that's it for the first story, but that doesn't really explain the title. The title seemed like it was going to be far more bathing-centric, considering Jahy had only that small tin to wash in. Well, I don't know, maybe she'll have to get, all good and clean prior to the party. I mean, the boss is already saying, hey, you've got... Oh, no. Oh, no. It's never a good thing when you have to discuss your bathing habits in work, in public. Oh, no. I mean, I was gonna say, Jahy doesn't have the proper clothing, so, that's obviously a big thing to worry about, but no, time for the public baths. And, no doubt this will be a source of contention. That is a salient point. Why was the landlord dragged along? 'Cause, I mean, surely she doesn't need to be here to help. Oh dear. I get the feeling they're gonna have a fight in the bathhouse or something. Things are about to get dangerous. Vanity is great, isn't it? It drives you to behave in interesting ways, if you tease the landlord like this, she's just gonna drown you in the tub, Man, so everyone's just airing each other's dirty laundry. I feel like violence is, if not imminent, then certainly inevitable at this point. I mean, honestly, the landlord should probably, wrap up a bar of soap in a towel and just bash Jahy with it. It would be well deserved, I think. Man, it's bad when you have to remark that you haven't had hot water in who knows how long. I guess if nothing else, at least Jahy's having a good time. There's something to be said for a nice shower. Ooh. The landlord raises a good point that, yes, you're going out of your way to help Jahy, but, we can't make this a habit. And at the same time, maybe stop spilling dirty laundry. Yeah, at this point, I think the landlord would be right to just bash Jahy over the head and drown her. Oh dear. You're only supposed to use so much shampoo. Even under ideal conditions, Because, the idea is to, clean your scalp. You can sort of, clean the rest of your hair by rinsing it. At least in my experience. If you just put in, a lot of shampoo, that's a lot of soap you're gonna have to wash out. And at the same time, it does, strip out, oils and stuff in your hair that, it's not good to have too much of that, but you still need some. So, everything's been pretty unambiguously good so far, but I feel like the other shoe's gonna have to drop at some point. The only question is what that other shoe would be. I mean, I guess the idea is that, this is like a one-time deal. Or maybe not a one-time deal, but like, you have to pay to do this, so you can't necessarily do it all the time. The question is Jahy gonna be willing to shell out all the money for every time she decides to come here? So, I mean, I guess, she kinda understands that it's back to using the wash tub, and that's, decidedly less glamorous, decidedly less fun, decidedly less easy. I mean, on the other hand, this could be something of a routine. You can, make friends with the boss and the landlord. Ooh. So it's somehow everyone else's fault that Jahy didn't know about this. Oh. That looks like a familiar character in the background whose, name momentarily escapes me, but she kinda has it in for Jahy, so, I can only imagine things are gonna start escalating in short order. Wow. So I guess it's that simple, a cold glass of milk is all you really need after a nice bath. How very magnanimous of Jahy to just forgive everything immediately, even though no one had really wronged her. So I can only imagine this has got to be like a daydream of Jahy's, sort of imagining she has actual power over people. Or is this the party? Okay. Wow. I mean, I guess this is rather nice for Jahy. She gets to relive her glory days, so to speak, but it is kind of sad that it's only the two of them, and it's a rather lackluster party. I mean, I guess this is just the thing Jahy would want and need, but wow. So Jahy, she has to play it up like the food is awful so that she can deign giving some to her minion. That's unfortunate, Okay, you know what? I take it back. There's something incredibly pathetic about this, making facsimiles of other minions. However positively Jahy's feeling about this right now, I feel like she's only going to feel worse in short order when, it becomes clear that this is all delusion. I mean, maybe delusion is even too strong a word for it, It's just like playing pretend. If you actually believe that this is real, then, that's like a whole nother problem. So I guess it's unfortunate that Druj has to take care of, actual business, like accepting deliveries. Now, it would be, very unfortunate for Druj and Jahy if that was, something fragile and maybe something Jahy would have liked. Wow, it turns out being the president of a company means, you have to cut into your free time a lot to take care of business, It's just one of those unfortunate realities, and unfortunately it's kind of at odds with Jahy's, demands. Because, phone calls are intrusive, but as far as intrusive phone calls go, that was a rather short and sweet one. And you know what? Maybe the rational response isn't hurling your phone to the ground and stomping it to flinders, Maybe the rational thing to do is just to, silence your phone. Man, it is nice that they're reminiscing about old times and all that, but I kinda wish Druj would just sort of realize that Jahy is a loser in this world and maybe exact just a little revenge as a treat. You know, just a little bit, you know, turnabout is fair play, after all. You know, it's not like Jahy wouldn't deserve that. In fact, she would probably deserve a lot more. So, it seems like we're reaching the sad portion of the evening, because, yeah, they're having a nice party and all that, but it's really just make-believe. You know, Jahy has other things to do, no doubt obligations in the morning, and, you know, all she would want to LARP is the second in command of the Dark Realm. You know, the Dark Realm doesn't presently exist. You know, you have to live in reality, and that reality is currently Earth. It's surprisingly melancholy, and, man. I almost wish something would happen to lighten the tone. You know, even something like comedically tragic for Jahy. Like, even just like tripping and falling. But, man, no, I guess we're determined to end on a sad note. So it's very telling that Jahy is resolving to gather mana crystals and restore the Dark Realm and defeat the magical girl. But, you know, the only thing she's really done towards that end is have this party. So, you know, maybe, just maybe, she could start making concrete steps towards achieving her goals, but, probably not, you know? Ah, man, that's the final straw. A facsimile of Jahy to sit in her throne. That's just an unfortunate level of pathetic. Alright, well that's it for this episode. If you've enjoyed it, then by all means, tune in for the next one. See you, Space Cowboy.